Off the plantation, the journey towards freedom. Man, I tell you what, this is a very special podcast. Please stay tuned through the entire end because this is going to answer a lot of questions. This podcast is dedicated to trying to figure out why does it seem those that have voted leftist, progressive, Marxist, why do they seem so crazy? It's easy for us to dismiss them as, look, leftism and progressivism is a mental disorder. Being a Democrat is a mental disorder. That's easy. Any of us could do that. But I submit to you, there's something deeper. There's something more profound than that, and we want to get into that today. So, thank you for joining me here on Off the Plantation, the journey towards freedom. Again, my name is Dr. Mack, and I'm here to talk about really fundamentally what I've written about in this book, Revealed, the Archetypes of American Politics. In that book, I go into a lot of detail about the various psychoses. And you can call it what you want. You could just say, oh, these people are crazy. We can dismiss them. We can say all we want. But the reality is there is something fundamentally, disturbingly wrong with the thinking of some people today. It goes beyond, allegiance to a political party or allegiance to Marxism or some kind of ideology in that way. It's deeper than that. I hope you guys understand this. When women want to cut off all their hair now, when they swear off men and say we're not going to have sex with men for at least the next 4 years until this administration is over, when they commit to celibacy in that way, when they a lot of them are now sterilizing themselves. They're having their tubes tied and et cetera, et cetera. So when this happens, this is beyond the normal reaction to disappointment. This goes deeper than that. This goes to, there's something fundamentally wrong here. We can't dismiss these people. It's easy. Let me just put it this way. It's easy for us to dismiss these people as they're just crazy. Excuse me. They're just crazy. We can't take them seriously because it's a mental disorder. No, there's more than that. In the book, I describe how there is a literal sociopathology, and there's a couple of dimensions of it. One of the dimensions is the bandwagon effect, and this is a very strong and very compelling and seductive effect, if you will, a mental type of a scenario where people will closely align with the majority, with the collective, and join the bandwagon, even if it goes against their morals, their principles. But if they can be part of the collective, that takes precedence then. It gives them identity. It gives them the ability to really ingratiate themselves amongst the collective. And that, to a lot of people, is compelling and seductive. They don't want to be on the outside. They don't want to be, rock the boat. They'll rather join the bandwagon effect. Other things that I mentioned in the book are, Stockholm syndrome. Now, Stockholm syndrome is where you would have slaves, and all of the book is in the context of political plantation. So if you think about metaphorically what's happening to our political sphere, our political processes in America, the book deals with the plantation type psychology or pathologies that are really most prevalent in a plantation-like setting. So you have your overlords, you have your house Negroes, you have your field Negroes. Those are the three sort of primary elements that provide sort of the interpersonal communication and the breakdown of communication between those elements. It's those three fundamentals that drive the plantation. But the interaction, the interplay between those three distinctives is what we have to pay attention to. One of the distinctives is that of the what Malcolm X characterized as the house Negro. Those are the ones who actually do the bidding of the overlords. Now, because there's so many slaves generally, the power axis, the axis of power is with those that are really doing the bidding of the overlord, the house Negro, those house slaves that are doing all of that. then those are the people that really have a tendency to develop, these types of psychosis, right? These types of pathologies. And so the Stockholm syndrome is one of those that is really closely associated with the syndrome. Okay, so what happens with the Stockholm syndrome is that you will, even though you're being abused, you're being maligned, your dignity is being, subordinated, your personal morals and ethics are being undermined, your privileges are being meted out depending on how obedient you are to the overlord, the master. Those types of things, even though you're subjected to that, you willingly agree to it. And when you have an opportunity, a clear opportunity to escape that, you say, no, I think it's better to stay here with my captor, with my overlord, with my master, than to be free. And so Stockholm syndrome is also a real thing, right? That's driving a lot of this, crazy antics that we're seeing as a result of our recent election. The other thing that we see is betrayal blindness. So I've already talked about Stockholm syndrome. I've talked about the bandwagon effect, and now this third one is betrayal blindness. Betrayal blindness is when you know that something is right, correct, moral, reasonable, logical, principled, and yet you will within yourself justify doing something that is antithetical to what you know to be right, true, just, and all the other things I just described. So you betray your own self, your own interest, or the interests of others who actually mean something to you. So you'll betray that in order to align yourself with the thinking of the collective or the overlord of that. So, as an after effect of our past election, what we see are people that have really so closely associated with a party, so closely associated with, you know, identity politics, female and an ethnic female, these types of things. That was the identity, the collective that they really leashed themselves to. When that failed, then they really don't know how to put together the pieces. So they then have to, they'll self-destruct in one way or another. One of the ways we've seen them self-destruct is, of course, cut off all their hair, swear off men, sterilize themselves. These are things that are not normal. Not when people are upset. These are not things that you would normally subject yourself to. But if there is an underlying pathology, a psychosis that drives that, then you could see this happening. The other thing that we're seeing is when Biden then recently decided to pardon his son, Hunter, these people now fully justify, even though Biden for years has told us it would never happen. I'm not going to, nope, I'm not going to pardon him. Nope, no, we're going to abide by the law and this and that. Lied to us, blind-faced, lied to us for a long time. His people in his inner circle knew that he was lying because he told them, look, this is my boy. If things don't go right, of course I'm going to pardon him. But, they thought they would win and they thought it would be okay. And so he stuck to the line. And so did his spokesperson and, Kareem Jean-Pierre and all of the other Democrats. Now that he's changed his mind, he did pardon, Hunter. People are saying, yeah, well, this is fine. This is okay. After saying for so long that lying and manipulating and pardoning was just off the table and he would never do it, they're now saying, well, he's justified in doing it. It's perfectly okay. This is the part of the psychosis that we see with betrayal blindness. We know that when we're lied to, when we're deceived, when we are manipulated, yet we will not hold the person who did the lying, deceiving, and manipulation accountable because the attraction or the identity, because I so closely identify with the collective, that being the Democrat Party, that being Joe Biden, Pickett, um, because I so closely associate with that, I within myself will proclaim I'm blind to any injustice here. I reconcile in my own mind and my own heart. Look, this is perfectly justifiable. It was no problem. Anybody would do this. He didn't lie. He saw that things didn't quite go the way he anticipated, so he wanted to protect himself and protect his son. These are the stories, the narratives that are then spun to justify staying closely associated with the collective, mindset of others who you've attached yourself to. So the point is this: we can't just dismiss people, the leftist, progressive, Democrat, Mark, Marxist types, as just being crazy. That's an easy justification. I think we have to have more compassion and, actually see these people for what they are. They're actually going through some sort of a psychotic break, and I say that with all respect because this is not normal. This is not normal behavior for being upset about not getting your election result, and so many are suffering like this, and so how can we help them? So I don't only want to talk about the issues, the pathologies that these people are under, but how can we help them? We can help them by helping them to see that they are under a spell, that they are really smitten with a pathology that is destructive. It's not in their best interest. It does not produce freedom. It actually, it is keeping them prisoner, if you will, to a particular ideology, and it is not a healthy ideology because when it breaks down and you don't continue to ascend to power, then you have a personal breakdown and it causes self destruction, cutting of hair and sterilization, all these other things. So the point is is that we must be cognizant. We cognizant, fully aware people must be cognizant enough to be able to help those of our friends, family, neighbors, community members that are going through the cycle. And we can do that through this book, Revealed, the Archetypes of American Politics. Goes into a lot of details about all these things. And I'm hoping that you get that. I hope this helps you because a lot of people are just trying to dismiss and saying, look, these people are all crazy and let's just move on. And let's be a little bit more compassionate. Understand that they are going through a real mental break. And this is a real pathology. It's a real thing for them. And we can help them by helping to educate them. And if you commit to that, by giving them the truth, then it's the truth alone that will help set them free. So I hope this is helpful. Please subscribe to the channel, share this, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. This is Dr. Mack, Off the Plantation, a journey towards freedom. I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. God bless you.